Dolphins fans, I need your help. I want to make this the largest YouTube channel there is surrounding the Miami Dolphins, and the best way to do that is to share it to other Fins fans. So click the share button, select X or Twitter, click post to X or Twitter, and tag me at Nick_Roloff. When you do share it on the Bird app, I will retweet you, and the first 10 people to share it and tag me will get a follow back as well. So help me out, Dolphins fans, and let's jump into today's video. All right, let's get it. Today's show is winners and losers after the 2024 NFL Draft. The Dolphins made 7 selections, 2 wide receivers, 2 edge rushers, and a couple other positions, including a running back. And I want to look at who won or lost on the Dolphins roster, and we'll do at the end someone else who lost today as well. But we got to start with the winners, and that to me is Bradley Chubb and Jaelan Phillips, the 2 edge rushers that have been here for a while for Miami. The reason why I think they are winners is because they're coming off injuries, and now you add both Chop Robinson in round 1 and Mohamed Kamara in round 5. This just gives you a handful of pass rushers to use, and now you have serious depth. Last year, it felt like they were relied on a ton to generate pressure from the outside for Miami, but now you don't have to rely on them as much with Shaq Barrett coming in free agency and then the 2 rooks. Also, this allows Phillips and Chubb to recover from their injury at a nice, more relaxed pace. They are not being pushed to the brink to return for week 1 in September because there was no other people that could play for Miami in this new Anthony Weaver defense. That is not the case anymore. And not even just them recovering from injuries, it will allow them to not sustain injuries in 2024 because you have 5 guys that can rotate in now, which will keep your 2 top guys more fresh for the late period of ball games and keep them fresh throughout the season. You got the 2 inside linebackers and then your edge group of Phillips, Chubb, Chop Robinson, Shaq Barrett, Mohamed Kamara. You got a handful of guys that can really do damage to opposing quarterbacks, and I do just want to circle back to the top 5 of this edge group. I mean, listen, you got 2 rookies filling it out at the bottom between Chop Robinson and Kamara, but I seriously think this is a top 5, if not top 3 edge group in the NFL. Your 2 top guys, Phillips was on pace to give you about 13 or 14 sacks last season prior to injury. Chubb is a double-digit sack guy. Barrett's had an outstanding career in Tampa Bay, and he's going to hopefully bring that to the 305. And then obviously the 2 rooks bringing it all together. I am a big fan of this edge group, and I know it wasn't the biggest need for Miami, but it is a very nice thing to have. Let's just say that. Well, you let me know who is the biggest draft winner. Maybe you agree with me that it is Jaelan Phillips and Bradley Chubb. If you do, well, that's cool. But if not, let me know who your biggest draft winner for Miami is down below. Loser number 1, Braxton Berrios, who was the wide receiver 3 for the Dolphins going into the NFL draft. And I think he is now a loser. He's not a loser in life, though. Shout out to Alex Earl. But I do think he got pushed out of the wide receiver 3 role for Miami with the selection of Malik Washington and Tahj Washington late. I get it. I know you guys might be skeptical of that because it's a round 6 pick and a round 7 pick. But these 2 guys are productive as hell. Malik Washington was the most productive wide receiver in all of college football last year in terms of receptions. A UVA product who was a second-team All-American, according to the Associated Press, broke records in the ACC. I mean, you just do not see 110 receptions at the collegiate level, and the fact that it was coming in a Virginia-led offense is even more impressive, if you're asking me. He's only 5'8", so he is projected as a specific slot wide receiver, but I do believe he is going to be a starter from day 1. You can move around Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, which is what makes them so valuable, right? They can play on the outside and burn people with their speed. You can move them inside, in motion, as Mike McDaniels does so often, but now adding Malik Washington into the fold just pushes Berrios out. I will say this on Braxton Berrios. I do not think his role is completely diminished in Miami because he is that more, or at least the most experienced slot wide receiver on this team. So if they feel Malik Washington is not ready, Berrios could get the call. Braxton is also very valuable in the special teams game, so it's not like he's going to get cut or something like that, but he will at least have a less bigger role on this Dolphins wide receiver group. Three more winners and losers to get to, but I want to make sure you're hooked up. Chop Robinson, the first-round pick from the Miami Dolphins. His jerseys are on sale right now at chatsports.com/chopjersey. It is not official what number he is going to wear, but it is official that Blake Ferguson is changing his number from 44 to 48. So at least at the time of filming, it is anticipated that Chop is going to wear number 44, which is what he did in college. Scoop it up today, and we'll ship it out to you when it is all ready. One more time, chatsports.com/chopjersey. Link is in the description and comments of today's video. Winner, Tua. But in 2025, not this season, because the Dolphins went out and grabbed Patrick Paul, the offensive tackle from Houston, with the 55th overall pick. And I've stated multiple times throughout the pick process is that I am very bullish on Patrick Paul, and long-term, I think he is going to be an absolute stud. He might not make the biggest impact in 2024, but this is someone who projects as a long-term starting left tackle in the National Football League. And I've stated a couple times, and I'll state it again, the thing that is most impressive to me about PP is he is going to get to learn under Teron Armstead. He made a jump from a non-Power 5 school or conference to the Big 12 in 2023, and his numbers only increased in terms of PFF value, a 91.5 pass blocking grade for Paul in 2023 for the Houston Cougars. You get to learn behind Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson at these tackle positions, and then you are just going to get a more, developed product when he initially steps on the field in 2025. Teron Armstead's one of the best left tackles we've seen over the past 5-6 seasons. He is very injury prone, but getting to learn, get your technique, footwork down is only going to make him bigger and better for Miami in 2025. A loser, though, is Tua in 2024 because, as I mentioned with Patrick Paul, I like him in 2025, but he is not going to start in 2024. And the Dolphins still have a hole at that right guard position alongside the offensive line. There's free agents out there like Dalton Reisner and Greg Van Roten that they could sign, but the addition of Patrick Paul and no other additions in the draft at the offensive guard position makes me a little wary about Tua's health in 2024, and you do need to protect your franchise quarterback, especially with his injuries in the past. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we are going to bring you daily content on the Miami Dolphins. We just passed 56,000 subscribers. Thanks for that, everyone. Hand of applause to all of you guys. But we're not going anywhere. The dog days of the summer are upon us, but we're still going to bring you content on a daily basis surrounding your Fins. So join us here at Dolphins Today. Final winner of today's video is Jonnu Smith, the tight end Miami signed prior to NFL free agency after he got released by the Atlanta Falcons. And I got to be honest, I'm kind of surprised Chris Grier and this Dolphins front office didn't go out and draft a tight end. This is a pretty big need, at least in my mind, behind Jonnu Smith. I don't hate Durham Smythe, but behind Smythe, it gets pretty ugly. You saw Hayden Rucci be UDFA signing, Jody Fortson as well, but this is not the best tight end room in the NFL if we're just calling a spade here. I will say this. I do like Jonnu Smith, and I feel like he is going to be a great fit in this Mike McDaniels offense. He did not get utilized correctly his 2 years in New England, but he was very good under Arthur Smith, both in Tennessee and in Atlanta. You see him having his best year out of the last 4 this past season for the Falcons. That was due to Kyle Pitts' injury, and for some reason, Desmond Ridder just really liked to throw to Jonnu Smith. But either way, I do think Smith is perfect for this offense. He's got a nice blend of blocking skills in the running game, but also is an excellent tight end with yards after the catch. That is something that Mike McDaniels really looks for and really likes in his offense. You get his speed and size combination running routes over the middle of the field with Hill, Waddle, and maybe Malik Washington coming along as well. He is going to be a great tight end fit. But I would have liked to see a tight end 2 picked up in the draft, or at least a developmental tight end. They don't pick one, which is what makes Jonnu Smith a winner because his role at that tight end position is only going to be increased. Who is the biggest Dolphins draft loser, though, in your opinion? I asked you about the winner earlier, but who is the biggest loser? I had my 2 losers as Tua in 2024 and Braxton Berrios, but let me know yours down below. honorable mention before we head out of here, another loser. AFC East quarterbacks, man. I want to have a fun one to round out today's show because Drake May, Jacoby Brissett, whoever's starting up in New England, Josh Allen, and Aaron Rodgers, 3/4 quarterbacks that are going to be fearing the Miami Dolphins twice a year on their schedule because those 5 edge rushers I mentioned, man, they are amongst the best in the NFL. A lot of athleticism, a lot of power, a lot of speed. They are going to get after the quarterback early and often, and those quarterbacks are going to be shaking in their boots when they line up against the Miami Dolphins in 2024. All right, before we head out of here, a little note here. We actually launched an Instagram for Dolphins Today, so go give us a follow at Dolphins Today IG. That is what it is on Instagram. We're going to be posting more content on a daily basis over on IG, shorts, more, whatever you want around your Dolphins, we'll have you covered. So if you want more outside of YouTube on your Dolphins, follow us on Instagram at Dolphins Today IG.